Advancing Prefab videos are sponsored by Mandeville Modular Inc., Premier Manufacturing.
We are here on the Offsite Dirt Network, and I am with our contributor, Steve Dubin.
Hello.
If you don't know him, you certainly should. Steve, what business do you work for?
I am with Sika,
oh,
yes.
Oh, I remembered.
See, yeah, and you pronounce it right, too.
That's because I got taught by the best.
But specifically, I'm with a subsidiary
of
Sika, which is RMAX, a polyiso insulation manufacturer.
You know, I met him today here, and it was just so crazy. We happened to be at the Advancing Prefab event that's in Glendale, Arizona, and it's always fun to see, Steve, you just never know what's going to happen. But in particular, we were kind of talking a little bit about how many people are coming to these industry events.
Yes.
And why do you think that is?
I think it's a great networking opportunity. I think this is probably the easiest way to meet a bunch of people that have some sort of influence of what you're doing, or you can have influence over what they're doing, or you can share best practices even if you don't really have anything to do with each other. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? And
yeah.
For those that haven't or don't know a lot about the industry, there are several events that we always seem to go to. One in particular, obviously we're both here at Advancing Prefab. We also like other events, right?
Yeah, World of Modular is coming up. The International Builders Show is in a couple weeks in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Actually, both of those are in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Some smaller ones throughout, yeah.
And you can always catch those on our events page, but it's particularly so much fun when you are doing Zoom calls like we do so many of those.
Too many.
You're traveling more than you're doing Zoom. I always see
I would say it's...
You do a lot of travel. What is the latest factory that you were at?
Let's see. Stratford Building Corporation.
Yes.
In Rathrum, Idaho.
And how was that one?
Awesome. Actually, you'll see a quick video of it on the Offsite Dirt Network soon enough.
We will. And
yes,
I love
will.
that you actually go and visit factories because you can't get the same perspective or understand the building types or the way that they run their factories without visiting them.
True, and every one of them, everyone is different. Mm-hmm. So you think there's going to be some similarities, and maybe there is in like their final product, but how they go about their business is different every single time.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. It's just kind of like here, I've seen a lot of engineers, a lot of architects, we've seen a lot of vendors, building supply materials.
Like mine.
And, you know, we also see general contractors, we see anybody that's really in the construction space. I feel like more traditional construction is trying to implement or starting to figure out how do they get into the modular or the offsite or prefab space.
Yeah, they're finally kind of crossing that threshold where they don't think it's a viable solution to, wait a minute, there's something cool here. We got to check it out.
Yeah, I love that you say that it's something cool because innovation is changing the way that the industry is moving. And in particular, we were talking with Sneha about Merlin AI, you know, AI ERP system for construction. But there's so many more different companies out there that are utilizing, you know, different type of softwares to help with their building systems.
Yeah.
Do you do anything with your product to do like any testing, or how do you guys look at your product and how does it get distributed?
Well, our traditional channels, it's distributed through insulation distributors, whether it's two-steppers in the residential world or commercial ones in the commercial world. My particular focus, yeah, how crazy is that? What an interesting way to do things. My particular focus is working more directly with offsite, modular, offsite in general. I got to get away from the word modular and maybe start saying offsite more, because it's all kinds of industrialized construction that I'll work on. Panelized, and I'm blanking, and there's a million of them.
But you know, here's the great thing that you're bringing to point. Offsite construction is a blanket term,
yes.
Right? When we talk about modular construction, it could be a module or a mod type of product. When we're talking volumetric, we're actually talking about a box, a volume of space that is including that. Talking about Panelized. Panelized is also an umbrella under offsite construction.
That's correct.
I think that's why it's so confusing. Then we've got prefab. Anything that's prefabricated in a facility and then brought to site.
And some of those prefab things are actually brought to volumetric facilities to go inside their product.
That's right.
So it kind of trickles down and up.
It does. And I think one of the components that is key for all types of construction is standardization.
Yes.
And that's why we're here. It's all about standardization.
At least the attempt to get to standardization. That's what everyone's trying to do.
I agree. And I think when we get to those components or we start putting those processes in place and we build a section of some type of standardization, what happens? more efficiencies, cost savings.
Thank you.
What else?
You know all the answers. Peace,
Come on,
love,
Steve. Come on.
peace, love, and happiness.
Really?
I'll know all those words as soon as the cameras are off. I'm sorry.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Well, I'm really glad that we got a little bit of time to chat. You have to check out the Offsite Dirt Network. You really have to see all the different contributors, and you're never going to get one more loving and fun.
Loving and funny.
And Steve,
I'll see what I can do.
You know what? It is great having you here, and I'm really glad that we got to meet at this event. I'm
Me too.
certainly going to be looking forward to seeing you at many more.
Absolutely. This networking has been one of the funnest parts of my job, meeting you a year ago. And look where we're at now. So exciting. Yes.
So really quick, I'd love to kind of dig into that. Like, one of the things about building your business, doing any type of sales, you have to meet people. And the fundamental part of that is being by industry events, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're very important. I really like industry events like this one and the other ones we talked about earlier that are actually focused on a particular market niche. You know, the IBS show is great, but there is so much going on there. Sometimes it's hard to really find the people that you want to talk to that are specific to what you want to talk about. Here, that's not the case. These people are here to talk about something specific, and you're here to talk about that specific thing with them.
I agree
really
with
love
that.
that.
And for those that don't know, IBS is the International Builder Show. It's like a 1 million square foot place, right? And they have building materials, and then they have these different sections for people, but it's so ginormous.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah, and your feet are killing you at the end of that one.
There's no question about it. I need to go to the Clark store this weekend. So,
You got to get your new shoes.
yes, actually, my old ones are worn out. That is not a joke.
Well, thank you for being here. It's
Thank
always
you for
such a
having me.
delight. I love, I love the way that you are real, and I love the way that you do network, and it is so crucial to being able to do it, being able to be involved in it, and we get to do it here together at the Advancing Prefab.
I love being here with you.
It's so awesome. And that's the Dirt on the Offsite Dirt Network. Join us again for the next event with Steve.